Shall we just dive right in?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, WJHS 91.5. This is Jordan Glaza. With me, joining us in the studio is the one and only Mr. Mayor, Ryan Daniel. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Doing all right, doing all right. This is Mondays with the Mayor on WJHS, where we take a look inside the community, kind of what is happening around both in, of course, the city of Columbia City, the area, business activities, events that are coming up, personal things that we sometimes take rants on, and kind of whatever we get into. So summertime's right around the corner, or right here, right now. You're looking wonderfully tan.
Oh, thank you. It's not on purpose.
It's not on purpose. I have a yard. I got to mow it on occasion. Lost my keys. Blah blah blah.
Outdoor activities, lots of different festivals and things happening. It's good to be outside right now.
So, what is on everybody's mind? And we were talking about this a little bit off there. A couple weekends away.
Yes.
Old Settlers,
that's coming up. We have that they'll move in here very shortly. Actually, when this airs, it'll be they will be in town. Streets will be closed, and while the event actually doesn't begin until the actual Tuesday, there's still a lot of surrounding events. There's pickleball tournaments, and there's there's a noodle dinner, and there's individuals that you can register to be an old settler, if you will. And so there's a lot of really cool things besides just the Midway and obviously the music that goes along with that and so much more. So yes, that is happening. It's obviously it's a yearly event. Last year didn't happen because of our friend COVID. And so here we are. We're back to Old Settlers and back to some semblance of normal.
So I've never been to Old Settlers. Yeah. Being new in town, last year was canceled. A lot of people extremely disappointed with that. If I've never been here, or maybe I'm hanging out in Fort Wayne, want to invite my brother, what can we expect? What do you look forward to most? And I understand it's, there's the official Old Settlers, and then there's kind of the event that sprung up and grown around it. What are we looking at for Old Settlers?
Yeah, so from Tuesday through Saturday, we really have the Midway that's going on. Usually it's, I think, from 5 o'clock to 10 or something to that effect. But music's usually happening in the evening on the other side of the courthouse. So all of downtown just becomes very congested this week, and explicitly because there are many roads that are blocked off for the Midway. And there's lots of vendors down there, lots of nonprofits. I personally... there's a couple of stops I like to make. One is at Gardy's Fish and Tenderloin. One is at the corn dog shop. But with kids and even adults, teenagers certainly, there's a lot of different rides and activities and all kinds of food. Obviously, fair food. This is your one time a year you can get really carnival food. So
not summer unless you have a corn dog.
That's exactly right.
Looking for another corn dog.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Shriners Elephant Ears, obviously a major part. So a lot of really good stuff downtown, and invite individuals from outside the community to come enjoy. Again, you don't have to ride rides to enjoy Old Settlers. There's lots of, again, nonprofit booths and certainly the food and other activities around the courthouse square throughout this week that's just fun to be around other people.
Is there also the live music and entertainment that kind of happens around at each corner? Is that what we're expecting?
So actually,
or is that just am I thinking the First Fridays? Am I thinking that?
Yeah, so you're thinking more of First Fridays, but with that being said, the Old Settlers Committee does a really good job of ensuring that there's some really good bands that play every night down at Old Settlers. So typically they'll get a rock, they'll get a country, they'll get some kind of a they try to mix up the genres to kind of get some really good music going on there. But yes, it's always on the south side of the courthouse square. They have the big trailer that the acts perform, and we encourage people to bring their lawn chairs and obviously a fun community spirit and enjoy.
Things are open late, and it's amazing what you might wander into is my understanding of it. And of course, if you want to participate, if you want to dress up, that's an opportunity. I think that's kind of what makes it fun. And, and everything else kind of feeds off that energy and just keeps going. I'm looking forward to my first very much. So Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay. And by the way, probably the main event, in my opinion, is the parade, the Old Settlers Day parade that will kick off really at the former high school and go down Main Street and then end up on Ellsworth there. But that parade, it really depends on the heat and the weather in of itself, but it's very probable that parade can last from an hour and a half to 2 hours. So again, bring your lawn chair. If you want a prime spot, there's a lot of people put their chairs out the morning of or the night before. I can't promise they'll still be there in the morning, but most times they are. But the parade's on Saturday, starting at 6:00.
Something very much to look forward to.
Yes.
Of course, go online for more information and specific details, event times, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, it is the summertime kind of vibe that's going around Columbia City between a couple of ribbon cuttings that have been happening lately. The Mercantile, of course, opening up downtown. Of course, shout out to some of our sponsors there. A lot of vinyl albums make the students excited here. Of course, Columbia City Schools. Out for the summer, a lot of excitement around graduation. Just from my observation, our video crews did record it. Go, and if you weren't able to attend in person, that video is now posted online. So you'll be able to catch all of graduation there, the highlights, the speeches up front, the students walking, something that feels really good to have posted up online. And I just from my own experience, speaking on my own, a lot of happy faces, seeing the new gym, getting inside the school building for the first time. Almost a sense of relief at the same time, too. Like, hey, we made it through the school year.
Absolutely.
So the laughs, the cries, the handshakes, I haven't seen you in a little while. And it was definitely very much fun, just my perspective. A lot of heightened emotional moments as well at the same time. That I thought everybody did great, and the power didn't go out or anything like that. So we got one in the bag, and definitely felt amazing to have that completed for this year.
Well, and what's really interesting about that, I for the last, I think 4 or 5 years now, we've done a really unique thing as a part of kind of the city, but it's not just us. There's other organizations that have kind of contributed to it. But for every senior that graduates from Columbia City High School, Eagle Tech, we send them on the morning of graduation. They have their practice, and so when they're done with practice, they come out and get a mailbox from us, and I think it's a really unique and interesting thing that we try to do for the seniors. But that mailbox is full of letters from individuals, leaders in our community, that say things like, we're proud of you, we're really excited for your future, we believe in you. But even more than that, at the end of the day, when you are ready to settle down, have a family, whatever it is where life takes you, we want you to go conquer the world. But when you're ready for that moment, we want you to consider coming back. We have a mailbox for you, effectively. So that's that little memento. And I'll tell you, every year that we do that, I am taken aback by just the kindness of the students, the professionalism of the students, and maybe even more importantly, how much this community supports them and believes in them, and how much many of them truly, truly love this community. And so, not to, puppies and kittens and roses and all that kind of stuff at this point in time, but I really do think graduation's that moment where the community comes together to say, we are so proud of you and we're excited about your future. And they get to relive that last moment in the school.
I think it's a really symbolic gift. I couldn't think of a better one that's both practical and at the same time not necessarily something like, what is this?
Yes.
You go to unwrap it, it looks like a bicycle. Sure. It's all, that's
sure.
Okay. I think that's beautiful in a way that I can't think of a better one coming off the top of my head. I think that's really cool. I did not know that took place either.
Well, like most of my good ideas, I stole it from another community. So I do a lot of, I think I've told you this before, but in my line of work, I do a lot of R&D, which is not research and development, is very much replicate and duplicate what other people are doing, and that is turning out to be really good. So I'm just glad we could bring that opportunity to our community.
And I was wondering why I couldn't find a mailbox in any store nearby.
That's why.
One weekend out of the year, just boom, they're all gone.
There you go.
Okay, so is there anything else community-wise that you wanted to bring up? Because I have a few questions that I wanted to
absolutely.
chat about.
We actually have we've had a real major, we have a really major change coming up. Let's say it that way. Recently, we went out for bids on a trash contract. We didn't go out for bids. Let me take that back. We looked at going out for bids for a trash contract, talked to lots of different trash contractors, and found that doing a renewal of the current contract made a lot of sense financially for our residents as well as logistically. So we ended up doing that. There was a raise in prices, and the reason for that is the trash market is awful right now. If anybody's been kind of following what's going on, recycle and trash market in general, really terrible. A lot of that has to do with some trade wars. A lot of that has to do with the fact that, materials are challenging, especially dirty materials. So long story short, not to mention you have the EPA factor, which we won't get involved in that, but there's just a lot of confluence of factors that raise that price. So I tell you all that to say we have, I believe beginning here in July, we're raising those trash fees from $8.50 a month to $11 a month. Now, it seems like a big jump. It's $2.50 a month. However, we like to tell people, like, if you were to go out and get your own trash contract, it would be double plus. It would be, I think the latest pricing I saw was about $25 a month. So again, going together as a full contract is good for everybody. It's beneficial. But with that explicitly comes a change in the schedule. So typically we have trash pickup in different parts of the community on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are now going to a 2-day-a-week pickup, and we're dividing it down Main Street.
Oh, okay. So I'm part of the Friday crew.
Okay. Well, you're currently as a Friday. Okay. So what's happening is that just like in junk pickup, when we do junk pickup once a year, we divide by Main Street. The west side will go first. The east side goes second. So on Tuesdays, beginning in August, the first week of August, Tuesdays will be the west side of Main Street. Everything west of Main Street.
Side. Okay.
Wednesdays is everything east of Main Street. So it makes it very easy to know what day you're going to be based on what side of Main Street / State Road 9, what side of that is. Tuesdays are west. Wednesdays are east.
Okay, so if you don't know east and west,
yes,
closer to Fort Wayne is
yes,
east.
Indeed,
Warsaw
yes. If you're
is
heading
west.
if you're heading from Main Street to Warsaw, you're on Tuesdays. If you're heading from Main Street to Fort Wayne, you're on Wednesdays.
Shout out to Gail who pointed that out one time. Warsaw is west, and I think that's a great memory aid for that. So. Gail, if you're listening, awesome. If you're not listening, well, okay. Get the replay up online. That's fun. Okay, so garbage pickup changing Tuesday, Wednesdays, going forward, starting in August.
In August, yes. Okay. First week of August. And actually, all of our residents should be getting a postcard from the trash contractor letting them know of their date and that change and when it's happening. We'll also be publicizing stuff on social media as well to try to get as many people covered as possible. Obviously, we can't get to everybody, but we'll try our best to ensure that everyone gets some kind of notification that this change is occurring.
Of course. Very good to know. Very good to know, especially when I start getting mad at my neighbors putting out, why is your garbage out still? No, I'm normally the neighbor, to be honest. So, okay, moving forward, next topic of conversation. Was there anything else, updates community-wise, related to utilities or anything like that you wanted to get to? Okay.
Not at the moment.
So the investigation that's happening at the explosion site. The explosion site. The former. My drawing a blank right now.
R&D.
Oh yes.
Motorsports and was also Mancino's at one time and had they were preparing to open it as a pet shop, at least the front part of it. So the investigation has, as we understand, has wrapped up. We have not gotten any initial information from that. Again, all views of it appear that it is, again, an accident as was anticipated. But we won't get any final information probably for a while. Okay. So the state kind of took over the investigation between the state police, state fire marshal. They've generally finished their finding. You kind of have to go back and forth and get the superiors approved and all that kind of stuff before we hear anything about it.
So we're on the quarterly 90-day something
like that.
System.
Yes.
Okay. So it's in those realms now.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was going to say every time I go by there, I see something else that is just like, oh my goodness,
yes.
I cannot. That melted.
Yes.
Or the vehicles that are out there that always seem to, like what sort of vehicle was that?
Sure.
Because you can't say what it is anymore just because it is that blown down. And I know, some of the other businesses in that area having their signs damaged and
Sure.
whatnot from that. That definitely an interesting and scary day. I look forward to kind of getting the full breakdown when
Yeah.
it's all said and done, just because I feel like myself, many people have that what in the world
Happened.
kind of
Yeah.
feeling still. And I suppose, every time I run to Dairy Queen or whatever, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like that is something that freshly reminds
Yeah.
me when I see the car that the complete front of it is 100% melted
Yes.
and the back of it is fine looking.
That's fine, yeah.
Right.
And actually, we so some people may, if you've gone there and you've kind of, for lack of a better word, studied the site, you'll notice that actually the back building that was still standing post explosion actually has been brought down, and I think a lot of that has to do with the insurance companies. That we have certainly encouraged the insurance companies to expedite, let's say, the cleanup of the site, because we know, again, first of all, it's a monument that we really don't want there,
Right.
First of all, but second of all, and more importantly, that site, has to remain secure until they come through and get this all cleaned up. But we are hopeful, obviously, that there'll be another facility built on top of that, on that spot. But
Is there news towards that? Is there 1 year from now, what do we expect? If you can share.
yeah,
that
well,
is.
so the challenge is always with, a couple of factors. Obviously, anytime you have a disaster like that, where you have probably multiple insurance companies that are involved, and certainly you have property owners, and then they have to determine who's kind of who's at fault or what's at fault, and then you have the who's going to pay for what and all that kind of stuff. So I think it would be optimistic to say something will be built there within a year. I don't think it's optimistic. I think it's realistic to think that site could be cleaned up within the next maybe 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
So-
So setting expectations
Again,
kind of
yeah,
one
I
of
mean,
those things
and-
as investigations
And that's all
happen.
speculative. Just
Right.
keep that in mind. All speculative. But in seeing, again, we've not had an explosion, but in seeing issues like this in the past, that has been a generalized time frame of, let's say, a normal time frame of cleanup.
Okay, very good to know. Very good to know. I think that is a good pausing point for this
Sure.
Mondays with the Mayor.
Sure.
Unless there was anything else that you wanted to bring up. Thank you for listening in, getting little community updates as we go here. Mondays with the Mayor on WJHS 91.5. Normally hosted by the students. They're in asking questions, but being summertime, we just wanted to continue the tradition as we go forward here. Looking forward to Old Settlers Day and everything that's on the horizon. For more details or for garbage pickup times, of course, you can reach out to the city and find all the municipalities and all of that online. Wonderful resources. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Daniel, for joining us as always.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I will say you grill me a lot less than your students do. So I
Sometimes.
appreciate that. Hey, have a wonderful summer, everybody. We're excited for all the festivals and everything going on, and just really, really happy with the progress our city is making and our people. So
This is WJHS 91.5, Mondays with the Mayor.